You're listening to the Nerd to Know Media Network. Join us at nerdtoknowmedia.com.
Broadcasting from the Blanchistan Center, this is Phoenix FM.
The internet is a communications tool used the world over where people can come together to bitch about movies.
According to the Nerd Index, you should be upside down in a junior high toilet around the clock.
This is We're going live! Time goes in, time goes out. Never miscommunication. It's over 9,000!
My name is Foxy.
The balls are in there. Do a barrel roll. Don't face me, bro. It's a trap. I'm a firing believer. Time to Hey, Charlie, wake up! Oh, God, oh, man.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Nerd to Know Basis here on Phoenix 92.5 FM. Today I have Dara with me. How are we doing, Dara?
Ahoy, how are you?
I'm doing good. I am doing okay. I have risen once again from the Final Fantasy mines. This game has, I talked about finishing that game recently enough.
Yes.
It turns out that when you finish the game, that's when it gets you in the chokehold. In that it's like, oh, you finished it. Okay, here's a whole new set of currency. And also, have you seen our crafting classes? I literally spent 2 days watching YouTube videos and weaving.
Okay.
But now I've got a really cute outfit.
So basically what you're saying is you don't finish this game as much as you have to find out when you're going to abandon the game.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not even... They give you an island when you finish the main story, and it basically just... There's a whole just Animal Crossing game in that then.
Wow.
So it's...
Wow. That's insane.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's a game that's, I think, about 10 years old now. They are constantly adding things. As I mentioned, when after a certain point, it is a paid subscription.
Yeah.
I will justify this because for 11 quid a month, it is a truly ridiculous amount of stuff to do in this game.
That's what you want, though. I mean,
yeah.
The whole live service thing, and I know we're starting off with a bang, but the live service model that was kind of all the rage for the past 4 or 5 years didn't actually do that, which is for example, the Avengers game that came out, another terrible Avengers game.
Yeah.
That game was supposed to be going for the next 10 years. It is quite okay now, but it's dying in September. So, I mean, it's how old is this game that you're talking about?
10. See, the thing is,
wow.
there's different tracks, because I think a lot of these live service games wanted the revenue stream of a Final Fantasy 14 and World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
But didn't actually take any of the steps to do that.
Instead, you can't just go money, please.
Yeah, instead of taking what was the MMO kind of structure and being but what if we just have a game and release DLC and call that an MMO? I was that's not how that works. You've
that's
released
just a bad deal.
Yeah, you've released a normal, just a normal full price game, but you're charging 10 quid a week for it, and the next update is next year. The next character skin update is next year. You guys don't know what you're doing.
And I mean, that's the thing, when it's so misguided, because I think if you look at all the big games that have come out, really in the past couple of years, they've all done that exact thing where it's oh yeah, no, we really want the money, but if we just hold off on DLC, it's release packs. I blame Fortnite on this, and I think it's fair, to blame Fortnite on most things.
To be fair, this predates Fortnite.
I know, but I'm going to blame Fortnite on Fukushima. I'm going to blame it on...
Hey, no, listen. I'm going to listen, Fortnite's a big dog in the room. I'm going to softball it. If not, you can fight people as Goku.
I'm going to blame it on losing my luggage in the airport. I'm going to blame it on bad coffee.
I didn't
Run it.
realize Fortnite owned Aer Lingus.
I know. Like, I don't know. I mean, I think, in all seriousness, though, I do think with Fortnite, it kind of set the table really for this kind of release band approach. You know, like there's been it's when you're looking at modern video games, it really is like a hellscape, and I mean that in the worst way because, like, you know, you would buy a game. I'm going to sound like real old boomers here, but whatever. Back in the day, which was a Tuesday, you'd buy a game, and you'd have
in an Extravision.
well, no, you know, you'd buy it in like a GameStop or a game or HMV.
Hey, GameStop is a dated reference. That is a company that won't exist by the end of this year.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Like Argus as well. I think
Argus as well.
Argus is going in like 2 months, I think, and then GameStop is in like September, right?
I didn't know GameStop had a date, but I knew, like, I heard about we were talking about the closing.
Yeah, they're closing
thing.
stores,
yeah.
so I'm not sure. That's a development story, guys. We'll let you know. But I mean, back in the day, you'd go in and you'd buy a game, and the downside would be if that game sucked.
You play a bad game.
Yeah, you paid for a bad game, so it wasn't like and it wasn't. Games weren't as available as they are now. So I mean, there are upsides to it, but I mean, at least you got the full. Even if it was a bad game. You still, like, so I remember going in and buying Shadow the Hedgehog. Shadow the Hedgehog is a bad game. I paid full price for Shadow the Hedgehog.
Yeah, price. But don't you? But, like, doesn't that feel like a defining experience in your life? Seeing that hedgehog cock that assault rifle like it's a shotgun.
No, I went in and bought the game and I took it home and played it. I was like, this is a woeful game. However,
you played the hell out of it.
I played the hell out of it, and I got a full terrible experience. I didn't get half the terrible experience. And then they're like, in a year or half a year, we'll give you the rest of the terrible experience. Or you can go online and share the terrible experience with everybody else. I mean, that seems to be what modern gaming is all about now.
No, you're right. In 2005, you got to take home Shadow the Hedgehog, and you got everything up to and including the point where the president of the United States of America has a picture of Sonic and Shadow on his desk in the Oval Office.
I mean, to be fair,
you brought this dog into the room now. We're talking about Shadow the Hedgehog.
I mean, to be fair, I wouldn't be surprised if the current president of the US did have a picture of Sonic and Shadow.
Our Joseph Gordon Biden definitely.
He probably is like, yeah, these guys, they saved America once.
Hey, these hedgehogs, they know what's good.
Come on, man.
But no, you're right. Like the best piece of advice I can put out there for
I honest to God thought you were going to like properly go to the bathroom.
Listen, I'm not going to say it's a good game, but I'm saying it's a game you should play.
I think so. It's an experience. Sorry, go on.
It's truly. I'm sorry, I'm thinking about it. You got Shadow the Hedgehog.
I know, right? It just takes over everything else. It just takes over everything else.
That game had multiple endings. That game had a full like Detroit Become Human like spider graph.
Yeah, no, there's something like 12 endings in that game.
Oh god!
And you have to complete it in a very specific way, or else it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
By the way, actually, speaking of which, so sorry, I know we're going down this rabbit hole, but we are full on committed. Actually, we were talking to Keen before the show, and he's like, "Have you seen the Mario movie?" And we're like, "No, This is Sonic is where it's at." Have you heard about the bird?
Is the bird the Knuckles TV show?
No, bird's the word. Sorry.
Yeah.
I know. I had to get that. No, sorry. Have you actually heard about Sonic? Who Sonic dies? Or
I have. Yes, I haven't played it yet because my PC is garbage, but I have heard about it.
Okay, so I thought this was like a meme, like an actual joke, and I've played a bit of it. So the actual game is called The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog, right? So this is, and Kev, I really did think of you with this because this is right down your alley.
I'm so flattered.
The minute I heard it, I'm like, this is Kev's game. That's what this is. This is the game I'd imagine Kev making one day. So yeah, it was a April Fool's joke by Sega, and it's a murder mystery game where Sonic, basically the whole cast of Sonic are playing in a birthday party for Amy.
Yeah.
And they do a whodunit dress-up game, basically, and Sonic's murdered, and you have to find out who killed Sonic. Now, this is free on Steam right now. It's one of the most highly rated Sonic games in years. Actually, your PC could probably play this because the processor you only need like.
It's not that it won't. It's not that it won't play because I've seen it. It's a visual novel. Very much.
No, hold on. It's a visual novel, kind of.
Oh,
but
does it kind of point and click adventure at points?
No,
okay.
Well, kind of. So it's a visual novel, point and click, and has actual retro Sonic game parts in it.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
okay.
It's very cool. It's very cool.
It's not that my PC won't play it, even if it is like very low labor intensity. It's that my PC takes a half an hour to turn on.
Oh god!
Listen,
hold on. What happened? Why haven't you let me have a look at your PC yet? What's going on?
Because you live like the other side of me.
Right, I'm gonna fix your PC for you.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh no, like
I'll fix your PC.
It's not that I don't know how to fix my PC. It's that I have to have the time to fix my. I have to back up and reboot first. First things first.
That's fair. That's fair. No,
fair. Like
I understand that struggle. Yeah. I genuinely do. But if you
I'm fully aware. It's a Windows. It's a PC running Windows 11 with a hard drive,
like an actual hard drive,
like a hard disk drive.
What are you doing?
I've had it for a while.
I know. Dude, an SSD is like $50.
Yeah, I know. Listen, again, like what I'm saying is I know the problem. I just haven't solved it.
No wonder it takes ages to boot up. It's screaming every time you turn it
on. No, again, as I said, I don't like it's not an
like
unknown
father.
quantity.
Why are you doing this?
and I do not see.
Oh my god! You better hope that thing doesn't become self-aware. It will hunt you down.
Okay, hey Dara, doesn't have the processing power to become self-aware. It's running a hard disk drive.
That's fair. That's fair too.
But
nothing sums this up more right than this quote from Steam. Right, it's a review from an account called Sexy Lover. So. We're quoting you on the show here.
We're getting perfect bias. Yeah.
Why is this free April Fool's game written and played better? And playable better than any of the main big games in the series?
Because it wasn't made by Sonic Team, presumably.
It was.
It wasn't. Okay.
It was.
I thought they outsourced it.
Well, yeah, but they still.
Okay.
They still went and told them what the story was.
I know it's licensed by Sega. Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing about it is, apparently a lot of the... Sorry, this is not a Sonic Team title, but it is in their headcanon. So it wasn't made by them, you are right, but it was outsourced and it does fit into the canon. However, apparently it also sticks incredibly well to the What's the comics? The comics, the IDW.
Oh, I think it's IDW. I'm not 100% sure.
It is, it's IDW here. Yeah, I can see it. I haven't read all those comics, but I had a friend years ago who used to love the Sonic comics. And apparently they were quite good.
Oh, I've heard nothing but good things. And because I know it was the main writer for the IDW comics, then went on to do Sonic Mania.
Oh yeah, Sonic Mania is unreal.
No, or wait. Did he just do the animated? He was involved in it, I can tell you that much. I don't know if he was the director of the game or if he just did the animation.
Okay.
The cutscenes. But yeah, maybe he wrote the scenario. He was involved, I can tell you that much. But that's why I like Sonic Mania, because that was a game that was heavily produced by known fans, known quantities in the fandom of Sonic.
Yeah, no, Chris Whitehead, who literally invented Sonic 2, old classic Sonic emulation. He redefined how it was done and invented modern Sonic, modern emulation, really, to allow Sonic Mania be a thing. So I mean, that's the level of fandom that can exist. Look, but the thing is, I love Sonic. I make no bones about it. So this was super fun. I would recommend everyone pick it up. And Kev, the minute I heard about it, I was like, did Kev just go and make a game?
Never.
And he didn't tell me.
Didn't tell anyone. Just hunkered away in my basement and just
did it away.
Made a Sonic game.
With your laptop screaming all the time. Father, Sonic, no.
No, don't kill Sonic. Watch
Kill me first. Oh man, you need to get that sorted. You need to get that sorted.
Just actually, while it is back on the brain, before my mind crippled under the insanity of Shadow the Hedgehog, just to kind of quickly finish up what I was talking about with mainstream modern gaming.
Sure.
Is the best piece of advice I can using this platform. The best piece of advice I can give people to buying games is wait like 2 years.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Wait until it is all released and fixed and half the price.
Unless you own a Switch.
Yeah, Nintendo won't do that.
No, but they will absolutely charge you full price for a game that's 7 years old.
Yeah, but typically, not guaranteed, but a more probability that is at least a finished game.
Yes,
on the spot.
That is true.
It's not always, but most of the time.
Yeah, no, I mean that's
more than
fair.
more than any other platform.
No, that's really fair. That is really fair.
Like it's as much as I was pretty excited about it, I still have not played God of War Ragnarok because that game is still €80.
No, I just don't have time. What am I playing at the moment? Hold on, let me have a look. Yeah, I'm playing the Avengers game while it's still while you can do that. I was playing last night actually, and I don't really like multiplayer games because people, and there were some kids screaming through the controller, and I don't know how to turn it off. So the whole game, he was just screaming his head off, and I'm like, yes.
What was the game?
It was the Avengers game.
Oh, the Avengers. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, you were playing it online. Yeah.
Because they up until September now, when it just shuts down, basically you can use everything, and it's like it actually is kind of fun. But I remembered why I hate online games.
Funnily enough, I actually like to bring it back to Final Fantasy. I actually had like the most stereotypical MMO.
Sorry, hold on 1 second. One stop you 1 second.
Yeah.
Why did they bring a feature that people can scream to your controller that you can't turn off? Why is that in the game? Someone tell me. It makes no sense because you're just playing along. Because you're just playing along. All here is
you can't. No, you should. There has to be. There's definitely a controller feature in there.
And the thing
turn down the speaker volume.
The PlayStation 5. The mic is turned on by default as well, which is very weird.
Yeah, no, I don't like that. I'm really constantly turning that off.
Yeah, I really.
There's a button on that to do that.
Yeah, that's fine.
There's a controller setting. I've seen a controller setting to turn down the speaker volume on the controller.
I'm gonna have to find that out because I mean, literally, I was playing for like half an hour last night and the entire time.
Yeah, I think it's not like in the system. I think there's like system volume and then there'd be like controller settings.
Right.
So I think it's probably in controller settings.
Right, I'll follow up next week, but yeah. Terrible.
Yeah, no, you don't want 12-year-old screaming at your controller.
I don't know how old this kid was. I don't think he was 12. Sounded about 8, but I was just like,
but boy, did he know some hate speech.
No, it wasn't even that. It was it was just a scream. It was so bizarre. I was like, wow, okay. Fair enough.
But yeah, no, just talking about kind of multiplayer games. I had like the most stereotypical like MMO experience the other night.
Go on.
For a start, playing this game. I've been playing this game as like a single player game for the longest time.
Right.
And it's kind of designed around that where you can do a lot of dungeons with NPCs and like it's very plot focused. Yada yada. But one evening I was out, I just finished up like duty roulettes. I got like and one of the prizes you kind of get when you fill out like a journal for somebody is you could choose to get like a treasure map.
Okay.
I've done one of these before, so I was like, okay, I'll pull out this treasure map. Leads me to an area, and like it mentions in like the tooltip for the treasure maps, it's like, oh, it's recommended doing this with like a party of like 8 max level players. And I thought that was going to be like an instanced dungeon, like something that you'd spawn into. Yeah, and they typically and like games full of these where it'll like give you like it'll match you up with a play, it'll match make you with the party of players. So I go to this spot. Dig up the treasure chest, find the spot, dig up the chest, and dig up the treasure chest. Suddenly spawns just a horde of like max level monsters that just mobbed me, just completely swallowed me, right?
Right.
But by sheer coincidence, at like the exact same moment, clearly like a party of like 4 people were in the same spot doing the same thing. And so like my body is just sitting on the ground there. So they like put into the text chat, the general kind of area chat was like, "Hey buddy, you wanna res and join our party and try that again?" I was like, yeah, sure.
Do you want to try it again? And you're just
So-
like, let me resurrect my dead limp body.
So they bring me back to life. They bring back to life. We join a party. They try it again. We mob the monsters. Open the treasure chest, and I swear to God, a portal sucks the 5 of us into this other dimension I had never been in before. That is a roulette wheel of boss monsters. And suddenly, I am fighting these wild, like loud, crazy, chaotic boss monsters, and just getting whack tons of like rare and odd items that I'd never gotten before. And I was like, what the hell is happening? After like all this kind of crazy spiraling, we got spit back out, and one of the guys in the party was like, yeah, treasure maps just be like this. Like, cool. What?
So did you manage to do it?
Oh yeah, no, we fully like I got like a bunch of money and like crafting items I'd never gotten before. And we did about 4 more of them. And then like I was talking to the guys and they were like, yeah, we do this like every other Sunday. So here's a friend invite if you're around. Drop us a line, we'll do it again. It's like, wow, okay.
There you go. Your online experience was a lot better than mine.
Yeah. I mean listen, not to generalize. I think that speaks to the games we're playing.
No, that's fair. I mean, I'm hate playing a game because I want it to be good. And I mean, the thing of it is, it's like yeah, no, you're right. I think if you're playing a game that you like and that's good for good reasons, it attracts the same amount of people. Yeah, no, that's fair. I mean, I was just that Avengers game. While it's better, it might be one of the worst games ever made. Genuinely. I mean,
fully
Thor,
believe you. Yeah.
but look, Thor's actually pretty cool, to be fair. Spider-Man plays like it's so janky. Iron Man is cool, but plays really slowly. I don't know. I mean, I could go into a review. I'm not going to, but
Yeah.
all I'm saying is, if you don't believe me how bad that game actually is,
Oh no, I've seen the videos. It looks like it. Now, these are already videos from when it was older and half built.
it's
looks
better
like-
than that. It's better now because it's finished, but it's still.
I will say, and I think
Oh.
I've mentioned this in the past, because obviously that is a chapter of Square Enix and IDOS. And like IDOS as a company doesn't exist anymore, I think.
Well, no, it might be. I was funny enough. I was talking to someone about that the other
Yeah.
day, actually in Limerick, when we were doing a gig, and we're all celebrating the fact that like this new Deus Ex.
Have they announced new Deus Ex?
No, well, no, like Square Enix
Oh, they sold
off.
it.
They sold
Yeah.
all of it. Yeah, so they're like, I know there's some in active development. Yeah,
Okay.
and new Tomb Raider as well. Yeah.
But yeah, I will say, like, for as short as a chapter as that was, and as bad as the Avengers game is, the Guardians of the Galaxy game they made is
I heard that, yeah.
actually really decent. Like,
Heard that, yeah.
and it's decent in that way of like, if you pay 30 quid for it, you get a very like solid, like PS3 quality, linear story based Guardians of the Galaxy game with very good characterization of the Guardians.
Yeah, but I mean, no, I expect more than that, dude.
No,
Genuinely.
again, that's what I'm saying. Don't buy that game for more than 30 quid. But if
Yeah.
you pay 30 quid for it, you're gonna have a good time for 30 quid. I won't say too much, but Fing Fang Foom plays a not insignificant part of it.
Oh, now that's
Yeah.
interesting.
I think there's like, because again, it's a really interesting. It's distinct from it's distinct from the movies Guardians much more than the Avengers off-brand.
Yeah,
Instance.
I mean, I think that was where that game.
Yeah.
Look, there's a few 3 or 4 hour breakdowns of how badly the Avengers game failed, and one of the big parts of it is really, they just try to make the like off-brand versions of
Yeah.
the MCU, even to the point that the custom skins that they released are just from the MCU.
Yeah.
It's like, I know what happened here. You guys leaned into this as DLC. That's what happened here.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the Guardians ones, they're much more distinctly like their own versions of that character.
Which it should be.
Oh, definitely. Like
Yeah.
Peter Quill had like Star-Lord has his completely own story going on in that's like the focus of the game. I won't get into that. But Drax in it has allegedly already killed Thanos and is feared the universe wide because of it,
Oh,
but
wow.
he will not talk about it. And
Interesting.
Gamora, Gamora is in the game a recent addition, trusted enough, but is still kind of an outlier.
Yeah.
But also has no romantic connection to Star-Lord. As like is
Oh.
fully her own character develops from that.
Oh,
It's
okay.
much more platonic, and it's really interesting. Genuinely, if it's on sale, I thoroughly recommend it.
I've been burned once, you see. But that's fair. I mean, I think that. But let's put it this way, right?
Yeah.
If you haven't played the Avengers game, and you have to pick between the Avengers and the
Guardians.
Yeah, I'd say go for Guardians because I mean,
it's a built game. Like,
yeah. Well, what will probably happen is I'll finish the Avengers one, and then when the Guardians of the Galaxy one's like a 5, I'll probably pick it up.
Yeah, 5 is good. I like again, 30 is my level where it's like it's worth at least 30. Maybe 4.
Yeah, but like my backlog is ridiculous, man.
That's fair.
Like, it's good. I'm actually finally starting to work through it as well because it's just crazy. Okay, so I'm not keeping a timer.
I've got a quick one here. We've still got plenty of time. Do you know
Okay.
what? While we're in the realm of MCU, I suppose the kind of the big headline
Oh yeah.
of the past week for MCU news is it has recently come out then that Jonathan Majors, who was playing Kang in
Everything.
Loki and Ant-Man, had nothing anymore.
Yeah,
he has fully
fired.
been dropped by his PR management company and will not be reprising his role because of abuse allegations.
Yeah.
So
basically. Oh, and there's casting as well on Reed Richards, but we got to that in a second.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just broke, like literally now. Yeah, I mean, look, Jonathan Majors,
yeah,
as what he's put on screen. I haven't seen Creed 3. I still kind of want to. He's the best thing in the Ant-Man film. He was quite good in Loki. I was excited. I mean, it seems like he was going to be a big mover and shaker, but these allegations, there seems to be a lot of meat to them. Obviously, that's all they are right now, but they're significant enough to make his, as you said, his management and PR firm cut ties with him, and it looks like he is out of the MCU. Now, we talked about this.
Yeah.
They've walked themselves into a corner here, particularly the end of like Ant-Man, where it was like all the Kangs that looked like him. However, they have established that in the MCU, in the multiverse, different versions can exist that look different.
I don't even think they need to go that far. I think, like, especially considering this is like a significant enough kind of story divested from the canon.
Yeah.
I don't think I think that they will just have a simple job of just recasting him.
Oh, you think you think they won't even
it's Marvel. They have to be self-aware. They'll probably make either Paul Rudd or Loki will name drop a thing of like, oh, you don't look like the you from the other timeline. Probably.
Yeah, see, that's
It'll be a very wink and a nod to the camera. But
yeah, that's what I think they'll do.
Yeah.
I think what they'll do is they'll be like, oh, you look different than before.
Yeah, they'll be smarmy about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Because here's the thing. That's not unusual because they did actually want to have Tom Cruise as
really?
Yeah, as Iron Man initially.
Oh, I did know that. Yeah,
and
I thought you were going to say they wanted Iron Man, Tom Cruise as Kang.
No.
I was like, what is happening?
They were trying to get him in as the superior Spider-Man, and I suppose Spider-Man No Way Home was actually kind of made that okay, where it's like, yeah, you can have different actors playing the same part.
Yeah,
because technically they are Peter Parker. So
I mean, as well, like they've, multiverse aside, it's not the first time the MCU have just fully recast somebody.
But never on this level, man. This is like they built the entire next phase around them.
Yeah, as I said, I don't think I think it'll just be something where they'll make press statements and say, listen, it's gonna be him next.
Hmm.
This is the guy. Forget the other guy. We're just gonna go with this guy, and then that's just wipe the slate clean on that one.
Which one would you prefer?
I think my proposition of just recasting him and not not making it a canonized thing.
Okay.
Like I just don't see a need to necessarily, especially when again nothing's in a bubble. People know about the allegations.
Yeah.
You know,
And they're not insignificant. They are
Mm.
they are definitely, I would say, worrying. I mean,
severe, yeah.
yeah, they're severe, and like, you know, we're obviously careful to talk about them here, but I mean, you can read them online yourself, and you can be like, oh, okay. So you know, there is the joke that's like, wait, um, who's what's Ezra Miller? Ezra Miller's still just like lolling his way to the bank, or their way to the bank, and you're like, come on, like, what are you doing?
That's you know, as it was something that crossed my mind.
Yeah.
Was you know, obviously I think that steps should be taken and repercussions need to happen. I do think that it is interesting that in a like that, comparing these two scenarios, it doesn't bode well that the person that's taking the brunt of the consequences more than the other is a black man. I think there is something to think about there.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I wouldn't even go that far. I would say Marvel is more responsible than DC.
It's very likely, yeah. No,
Because,
like
here's
Disney. I think Disney will always have something a bit more on lockdown than Warner Brothers.
But also, Warner Brothers is on fire at the moment.
Yeah, no, you've got me there. Yeah.
So I think what's happening here is they're like, we have one chance here.
Warner Brothers is also the company that recently was like, hey, what if we commit to 7 seasons of a Harry Potter TV show? Don't you want that?
Yeah,
no,
exactly. So what I think happened. Look, you could be right, and I'm not going to say that you're not.
No, this is speculation, but it's a thought that crossed my mind.
No, and that's fair. And it's not without warrant. But I would say the more likely one here is Warner Brothers like, we need money now.
Yeah,
we have a chance to do something, because Shazam, even though I really like Shazam, failed. Black Adam, even though I really like Black Adam, really failed.
Yeah,
they have one chance here to make one good movie, and yet they have you have someone with allegations and confirmed stuff the length of your arm, and you're like, you know, you're not going to arrest them or remove them. No, okay.
Yeah, no, it's
you're going to put them in the movie twice, and I think it is. It's not just allegations, right? There is arrests made.
Oh yeah, no, like they had Ezra Miller had kidnapped somebody, and beaten them. Like that is like they went on a spree in Hawaii.
There was a spree.
Like
there was a spree, and then there's other stuff as well that hasn't been confirmed. But it's just like that's what I think's going on here. I think DC are like, right, we need this. And Marvel are like, we don't need this. We actually have a sustainable business model. Bye.
Yeah. And yeah, like that's, as I said, like Disney as a company are on top of things. They've branched out, but they need to keep that squeaky clean image.
Yeah. And look, look, here's the thing. If he's innocent of it, which I mean is fair, like bring him back in, and I guess they can bring him back in that way, but you never know. And these allegations, there were a lot more than
there's a lot more, and like it's you know, true or not, the smoke is too big.
Yeah,
and like it's a smoke storm they can't ignore.
Yeah, no, that's kind of where, because I wasn't sure either, and then I was like, oh wow, okay, there's a lot here.
Yeah,
law here. Onto something a bit more. Less
lighthearted,
less awful. The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Netflix special was released today.
Well, okay, because I know that's going to eat the rest of the show if I just let you on Power Rangers.
Okay,
you did tease a news item before as well on Reed Richards.
Oh yeah, thank you for keeping me on track. So we have a more than likely confirmed casting of the new Reed Richards. Do you want to guess who it is?
Is it Krasinski?
No,
Okay, because this is news to me.
Adam Driver.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, that's like I don't know. I don't know. You couldn't have said somebody who's like more interesting.
Yeah,
Like,
that was
it's
literally my reaction too. Yeah,
like it's not who I'd immediately think of.
but I
I'm
like
not
that. But I really like
completely
that.
averse.
I
That's-
really like that though.
It's very just like, oh, interest. What an interesting choice.
But I went to go see 65 recently. It's actually not a bad movie. It's the slockiest thing in the world. But
Oh, it's fine. Yeah.
but I can see him being Reed Richards after that.
Do you know? Yeah, like there is. I'd like to see Adam stretch his range. I think he is a decent actor, but he just needs a good project. But yeah, he could definitely do kind of like damaged paternal figure.
Yes, yes, I do think. And look, I think that's why they gave us him in Multiverse of Madness. So you can be like, look, here's the one you want. Here's what we're actually going to do. And I think that's a good move. Genuinely, I think that's a really good move. So it's all over the internet right now. It's more than likely confirmed, but there hasn't been a press release just yet.
Yeah,
but that's that's what
well,
happens.
I mean, it's like as cool. Like Adam Driver, I think could do a decent job.
Yeah.
It really like the Fantastic Four is an ensemble piece.
It is.
So like having one piece is very interesting. That's a cast we need to know in its entirety before we can start making judgments.
Correct. Absolutely.
I think like that's it's going to be interesting to see how they shape that around.
Yeah, and I think we're going to find that sooner rather than later as well. So look, when we know more, we'll know more. We'll let you guys know.
Yeah, remind me actually, because I know there was a teaser. Do we have a Doom?
No, we don't.
No.
Oh, yeah.
So it was just a guy. It was just the mask.
Yeah.
As much. Okay.
Yeah.
Because that's the other big one is who is Doom.
That's a much bigger that's a show in and of itself. But man, before I get to the actual Power Ranger special, so are you a Power Rangers fan?
A little bit, like
but
Mighty Morphin, like the OG.
Oh, you didn't follow through?
No.
Okay, so there was the second Black Ranger. Did you we watched after that?
No.
Okay, so the original Black Ranger.
Consider we'll say start me from scratch because like I have a base knowledge of there was Power Rangers.
Okay,
the Green Ranger was an interesting character.
I promise you I'm building up to this.
Okay.
I'm not just bringing it up randomly. So there was the original Black Ranger, and then there was the second Black Ranger, right? He was called Adam. He's played by Johnny Young Bosch. Turns out you probably know the name because he is in a bucket load of anime.
Oh yeah, no
bucket load of anime.
Predominant voice actor. If I'm remembering, if the name is who I think it is, I believe he was Zuko in Avatar. Hold on.
Like I'm gonna read some of the things he was in. Right, Full Metal Alchemist, Naruto, Bleach, more Naruto, Persona 4, Blue Exorcist, which is incredible by the way. Pokemon Origins. K, Blood Lad, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, which is also fantastic. Sailor Moon, Gundam.
You don't have to tell me JoJo's is good.
No, I know. I this is for everybody else, not for you.
People. Yeah, no, we are speaking to the people. I do forget that sometimes.
Exactly. Yeah, man. But I didn't even realize he had this entire anime career because I just know him as the Black and then Green Ranger. So when I saw this, I was like, "Holy hell!" That's unreal.
I would like to make actually a correction.
Sure.
I fully mixed up. I was thinking of Dante Bosco.
Okay, that is okay. Yeah. Still.
But no, Johnny Young Bosch. Prolific. Iconic. Like
it's insane. Absolutely insane. So I mean, like the career of the Power Rangers is bizarre because they either turn up completely randomly. Well, it's always completely randomly because I mean they're the Power Rangers, and then you see them, you're like, you're the Power Rangers, But like he's a legitimate martial artist as well. I think he's like a 4th degree black belt or something in karate. So like it is quite cool. But Anyway, that's completely aside. So I found out about this a couple of months ago. Obviously, it's the 30th anniversary. It's Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, which was the first Power Ranger TV show, obviously based on Super Sentai out in Japan, which is where they reused 80 like stock footage and then shot basically the rest of it. It is
all the fight scenes were originally Japanese, and then they just added a bunch of like mall and high school shots of the teenagers hanging out.
So all the mecha stuff and all the fighting was all all the fighting in costume, because I mean, like, they did actually go for martial artists.
Oh yeah,
Like, not all of, I think the only one who was the martial artist was the original Pink Ranger.
yeah. To be fair, if you watch the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, in sheer video quality, it is very clear what stuff was taken from a 70s Sentai show and what stuff was 80s US television.
You know what though? I really, really think that adds to it.
Oh no, it's pure character. There was like, obviously it's a well-known fact now, but there was nothing like that then.
It's you know what? The fact that Saban came up with it is probably the most incredible thing in the world. Like, we have this show. Let's just make another show.
We have this show. We know American kids will not watch it. But if we add American high school drama, but still keep the kick-ass fight scenes, immediate sale.
And I mean, it's such a simple idea. And I mean, look, there's three. So okay, with the Power Rangers movie that came out a couple of years ago, I was not a huge fan of it for several reasons. One, that kind of camp silliness wasn't there. It took itself far too seriously, which, I mean, it's the Power Rangers. What are you doing? Two, it didn't have Ron Wasserman doing the theme music, which is like, you have to let him score it. You have to let him score it. The entire character of the show goes out the window without Ron Wasserman. Like, it really does. And three, they should have just used stock footage, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean,
yeah, like there's something that's taken away when you have a CG filled soup and call it Power Rangers.
Yeah, it loses its character. I mean, like, it's very hard to explain. And I mean, I'm not just saying that because I'm like, oh, whatever. It's just the character of the show and the movie goes out the window when you take away its key parts.
It's the foundational element of the show.
Exactly. And I mean, so my concern with this 30th anniversary going into it was, are they going to do that again? Now, I would say, look, it is exactly what you think it is. It's an episode of the Power Rangers 30 years later, and it's amazing, right?
Right.
But it's so schlocky. The acting sometimes is a bit terrible. I'm not gonna real bad, from certain people. Like, they bring Rocky back, and it looks like he hasn't acted since the Power Rangers. There's a notable absence, obviously, of Tommy Oliver.
Yeah.
Who was played by Jason David Frank, obviously, who passed away a couple of years ago. Last year.
Yeah, no, I thought that was very recent.
It was very recent, last year. And then obviously Trini, the actress who played her, she passed away many years ago.
Yes, that was
many years ago.
After the show, yeah.
She died in a car accident, and it's interesting because part of the special is she gets killed in the special.
Oh, right.
Now, the thing about it is they can't kill off Tommy because it's established that he's married to the second Pink Ranger and they have a son, and he ends up taking over a couple of years later on. So actually, in the canon of the Power Rangers, Tommy actually can't die.
Right.
So they couldn't kill him off. So the Green Ranger's in this special, but they never take his helmet off, just like the original Red Ranger's there and Kimberly, the original Pink Ranger. They're all removed. I'm not going to go into how, but they're all removed, and they're still kind of voiced, but they're still there. They're still alive in the canon, which I mean is it's so ballsy, really, to do that, to be like, wow, okay, because like there is this very deep established canon that you actually cannot break, and I really respect. I think the Power Ranger canon is genuinely the most amazing thing in the world, because it's like you will not break it.
No, it's very like I've only kind of like touched on it and looked at it from afar, but like it seems like it's something that's very set in stone, even across all the iterations over the decades.
No, I mean, like,
because there's been so many crossovers, haven't there?
There has been, but they're all consistent. Like everything
Yeah.
that happens here, like something that happened in a comic feeds into here, that happens into a series, that happens, and it all kind of like even how like Rita comes back because she is killed. She's like she's not evil anymore.
Right.
In the series, but they explain what happened, and it's just like whoa, that's amazing. So like everything that happens in the show from a character perspective, it all makes perfect logical sense. So it's incredibly satisfying when you're watching it. You're like, oh, none of this feels forced. None of this feels like it's cynical. It's all coming from the best place in the world, and I mean that's where it starts off. But okay, so from a fan perspective, how many minutes have we got?
Plenty.
Okay, from a fan perspective, the actual team that we have, the second generation Pink Ranger, second generation Red Ranger, but then we have the OG Black Ranger, the OG Blue Ranger, and then obviously we have a new Yellow Ranger because Trini's dead, right?
Mm.
But the conceit is Rita has come back and she's collecting Power Rangers from around the timeline, from around the world to power her machine. So, dude, Power Rangers from all the different ones, from Zeo, from Turbo, all the way up to the more recent ones are being collected like action figures. It's really cool because you're like,
right.
yeah, you're like, wow, this is like proper like you talk about multiverse of madness.
Welcome to Multiple Power Rangers.
Yeah. So like, I was blown away by it. I don't know what I was expecting. It wasn't this. It's so much better than it has any right to be. And look, I totally get if people can't watch it and go, oh, that's lame and cheesy. And look, yes, it is. But it's wonderful.
Well, the question is, would
on.
it be? Do you think it'd be accessible to somebody who has like no experience with Power Rangers?
Yeah, probably, but I don't really know what you get out of it though. That's the difference. I mean, it's very watchable, but I don't know what you'd get out of it.
But it's for people who know the kind of the history and
like, I mean, yeah, like, okay, here's the thing. If you just watched the Power Rangers as a kid,
yeah,
you could totally watch this.
Okay.
Right, and you'd have a good time. If you never watched the Power Rangers, I don't really see the point of why you would. But if you're a fan, you will love this. Now, the only thing I will say is, so I do have some critiques.
Sure.
Like it's a shame. Like 30 years is a long time, right? So some of them, there's more mileage on some of them than others, but a lot of them can still go. I mean, like it is quite impressive to see them still. Now, obviously, they're not in the suits. They did hire someone to come in and like Rocky loses his belly every time he morphs, and you're like, I mean, come on, man, like you had time to lose it. But anyway, he does, so he's probably the most rough out of the lot of them. And I never really liked the second Red Ranger anyway. So, but yeah, so there's stuff like that. But my only criticism really in it is, it looks kind of weird because it's shot so well. It's like proper
right
cinema cameras, and you're like, this is the Power Rangers.
Why did they get a budget?
Yeah, they have a budget. So it's the first Power Rangers thing with like a proper budget. It looks even better than the movie did. The original movie. And it kind of works even better than the original movie.
The Ivan Ooze movie.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so and it's more Power Rangers like it because that was shot out. That's not continuity because they redid that in the series.
Oh,
so that movie is completely outside of continuity, and the second movie was in continuity. And the reason why was for toys, because it didn't fit in, So with this, it actually 100% fits in, and it all kind of feels like it's in the same universe because it is. It's the most. It's like what Star Wars should have been. It's what a new The Force Awakens should have been. They should have just hired the Power Rangers guys to be like, make this but with Star Wars. It's everything dude. This is everything I complain about in Star Wars in the obverse of it.
I think
it's amazing.
I am fascinated. Kian is missing out by not being here for this brand new angle of Star Wars needs to be more like Power Rangers. This is a fascinating new layer of your brain.
Oh, thank you. It literally just happened today, and I think I might extend it out for a panel or something. Oh my god, there we go. That's what's going to happen. What Star Wars can learn from the Power Rangers? Oh, there we go. That's what it is, folks. That's our panel.
Hey guys. I hope you really enjoy the next 10 minutes of this episode because we are going to be listening to Dara writing a PowerPoint.
But no, I mean to keep myself on track because now I do want to write a PowerPoint. No, I mean the thing about it is, it's like my criticisms on this, and there's a few, right? One I talked about. Two, like they had Ron Wasserman doing the music, and that immediately just makes it feel like the Power Rangers, like this era. I do not know who said what to them in the movie. What were they? Why didn't they just hire him? He would have done it for free, probably. And it's just it just all fits in. Just all fits in. It's brilliant. So that's not really a criticism. That's more kind of like a, just an amazing thing that happens. The real criticism I have, and it's only one really. So they do bring back the original Zords, which is fair, but they can't help themselves with a little bit of CGI. They look too. The CGI budget is obviously very low, which is fair. They should just use the toys.
Yeah, I'd say somebody in the effects department was like, we need to touch this up just like a notch.
And it needed Japanese stock footage. I don't know. It does. It needs that kind, as you said, it needs that like marked differentiation between we shot this last week, this was shot 12 years ago. I don't know. I mean, I could be the only one who thinks that. Probably am.
No, I think you are in the majority on this one.
It just like it needs the jank. It just
we do love the jank.
It needs the jank. I mean, nobody watches Power Rangers because it's like the best. They watch it for, and I realized something. Because of my love of Power Rangers as a kid, it directly exposed me to everything I am as a person now. Love metal, right?
Yeah.
Really obsessed with Japan, and I'm a martial artist, right? And I like robots.
Yeah, no, it's covering, it's ticking all the boxes there. That's covering all your bases. Yeah,
it's like Power Rangers just was in my brain and never left. So
yeah, like, hey Dara, have you ever considered like getting really into Ultraman? Because I think you'd really dig that.
So funny you mentioned Ultraman, my friend. So there was a show a year later, right? Released by the makers of Ultraman and the rivals to Power Rangers, called Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad. It's all on YouTube. It is the best show ever. I forgot existed. Now, hold on. Do you know anything about this show?
No, I think I've heard about it, but simply just by like hearing people talking about the Power Rangers copycats at the time.
Okay, so I'm going to blow your mind, right?
Right.
Tim Curry's the bad guy.
Okay. Okay. So Tim Curry versus Ultraman.
Yeah, basically. And Ultraman is played by Matthew Lawrence.
For refreshers, who's Matthew Lawrence?
Matthew Lawrence was in Mrs. Doubtfire and Boy Meets World.
Oh God, yeah.
Okay. You know him.
Oh wow. Okay.
Right. So here's the premise, right? So there's this kid played by Matthew Lawrence who was in a band, right? He wants to date this girl who's the popular girl. This like Malcolm Frank is the loner, Yeah. So he goes home and he designs monsters. Somehow runs into Kalkakon, right? Who is the superhuman basically mega AI, right? Voiced by Tim Curry, and they end up making viruses to attack cyberspace together. Now, Matthew Lawrence gets turned into a superhero called Servo to fight the viruses. It's amazing.
So they did the Power Rangers where they took Ultraman footage.
No. This is the difference.
Okay.
Ultraman was done a couple of years later. This was done. So they shot 36 episodes of footage, right? So they shot the American footage with Matthew Lawrence and the rest of the lads, and then they did the rest of the footage in Japan, right?
Okay.
It ran for 53 episodes. So guess what happened?
Yeah.
They reused a lot of the footage.
Of course.
But it's very good.
Okay.
And if you look at Servo, he looks exactly like Ultraman. Because it is.
That's It's just being like, hey, maybe kids won't go for this name, Ultraman. Well, we name him Servo, and we'll put it in the internet.
But I mean, here's the thing, dude. Right? This show was released in 1995. Okay.
Yeah.
This show was for today. I mean, think about all these concepts. Like, we didn't have the internet in 1995. I got the internet in like 1999.
I think, to be fair, I think they had the internet.
Yeah,
I
the
think,
Americans did, but we didn't.
Yeah, AO. Dara, come on.
Yeah, I know. Come on, but you know what I mean. I mean, like this wasn't something that people really like. Okay, if I had said to you, if you had said to like a random person on the street, "What's a megavirus? What's a server?" People nowadays don't know what a server is. You know, I mean, this was so ahead of its time. And the thing about this was, this came up randomly on Instagram. You know, on one of the Power Ranger fans, basically. Power Ranger fan groups, and it immediately unlocked it in my brain. And everyone who I showed this to, or even like the intro to, was like, "Oh my god, I forgot this existed." Everyone watched this show. Everybody watched this show and forgot about it.
Because, I mean, to be fair, because it was like, you know, the internet, it was a thing in the US, and it was such a new thing, and like, you know, it was groundbreaking technology. There was a gold mine of like speculative sci-fi about the cyberspace and the data space. Like, Reboot was probably around the same time.
Reboot was that was 98. But Reboot, you're right, that was like an English version of it. So the main villain, right? He's not really a villain, he's more just kind of like a loner kid. He actually says, "Oh, I need to lay off all the cyberpunk books." And I'm like, "Oh my god, this is crazy."
Somebody became a villain for reading too much Snow Crash.
That's kind of what happened. It's the most cyberpunk thing in the world, and Tim Curry is there eating all the scenery.
To be honest, it's very funny. Finding out Tim Curry was the least surprising thing about that, because nothing surprises me since watching his clips from him in Command and Conquer.
Oh yeah, that's something else.
Him playing a Soviet communist in Command and Conquer go watch that. Watching him chew the word space is his best performance.
Oh man, look. The thing about it is, it's just the best thing that happened this week was rediscovering this. And there was another show called Mystic Knights of Tirnanog. Do you remember that one?
Speaking of unlocking a part of my brain,
funny story about that. I'm actually in a movie with one of the main cast of Mystic Knights Tirnanog. I discovered out afterwards. I actually have him in a headlock. So if you guys are listening, go into Amazon Prime. You'll see me in and look for a movie called Poison Pen. The main character of that, like the main guy, was in Mystic Knights of Tirnanog. He also does all the Board Bia ads, and I'm in a movie with him. And I'm so annoyed I didn't get his autograph.
I'll do you one better. I was in a TV show with Jamie Campbell Bower.
Who's that?
He's in a bunch of stuff. He was Vecna in The Last Stranger Things.
Oh,
he was.
That's so cool.
My go-to is he was the young guy in Sweeney Todd, in the Tim Burton Sweeney Todd.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
See,
here's a bunch of other stuff.
But here's the thing, it's like there's these actors that like just go under the radar and are just in everything.
Oh yeah, this was I don't think it ever even premiered. It was a show called it was a King Arthur story called Camelot. 10 years ago now.
So do you know
Eva Green was in it actually? She was like the big budget star.
They always have those kind of period pieces. They can always spring for someone. I was in a thing with Keira Knightley for the same reason. They can only spring for her, and that was it. Okay, here are you. So I'm not going to pronounce it because my Japanese tokusatsu. Are we almost done? You know what tokusatsu is?
Yes, yeah. It's Power Rangers. Like it's what the Japanese parts of that show were, which was colored team fighting.
So I want to finish. We're almost out of time, but I want to finish this real quick. The original name for the original name that it was based on, right? So they did the Power Rangers thing originally, and they wanted to do the one season of the Gridman, the Hyper Agent, right?
Yes.
But what they did with this one was they actually completely reshot the entire thing with the whole new characters and worked with the original team. So that's the difference between Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad. It's SSSS, which is weird. That's how it's stylized. And and Power Rangers is they made no attempt to follow it. They made their own thing.
It's
there you
funny that you fully just like you reminded me like I haven't watched it, but there's an anime that's been really lately. Yes, I have. I watched this called SSSS Gridman.
Yeah, that's why. That's why it is. It's the same thing. It's the same canon.
Oh, that's interesting. Because I know that's a show. Like, I watched the first couple of episodes, thought it was cool, and then kind of dropped off.
Yeah, it's the same canon. And the thing about it is the act. Sorry, I'm way too excited. They actually reference. So the one you're talking about is SSSS Gridman, right?
Yeah.
And that's actually a direct reference to the American show. And they talk about the American show, and in the American show, they completely reference the Japanese show, and it's crazy. I love it.
That's good. That's gold. Okay. that's cute.
The moral of the story, ladies and gentlemen, is if you want to learn to do canon correctly and not upset me and all the nerds who watch this stuff, follow what Power Rangers do because they respect the canon compared to what Disney and the rest of Star Wars does. And that's why at the next Comic-Con, we're going to be ranting about this more.
Well said. Well, you can find us at said Comic-Con. Maybe when we book it.
When we book it. When we apply.
When we apply. But as always, you can find us over on our socials on Nerd to Know Media. You can find all of our stuff on our Spotify feed and through our website, nerdtoknowmedia.com. We've also got a Patreon if you like what we're doing and you want to support us.
We do.
You can find that on nerdtoknowmedia.com as well.
Yep.
Jared, was there anything else?
That's pretty much it, man. You hit all the points. So I just want to thank everybody for listening in.
Hell yeah.
We'd love to hear from you, genuinely. You can find us nerdtoknowmedia.com. All the links are there. What did you think? Did you watch Power Rangers? Come on, this is an interactive show, so
yeah. Tell us about Power Rangers. Really send Dara a detailed email outlining the chronology and timeline of the Power Rangers franchise.
I think that's fair. That's a challenge.
That's fair. I don't think it's a challenge for some people. I think some people have that saving drafts.
That's fair. That's fair.
But as always, we will see you again next week. Thank you all for listening, and good night.
Bye, guys. Alright, so you're listening to the podcast, you're like, hey, I'm not in Ireland, how do I get in touch? Well, TuneIn has you covered. That's how you can check us out live when we're on the radio. You go to TuneIn and download the app, or you can check out the live streams on nerdtoknowmedia.com or Phoenix 92.5 FM. If you want to get in contact with us, it's very easy. Nerd to Know Media everywhere. Nerd to Know Media on Twitter, Nerd to Know Media Instagram, Nerd to Know Media on Twitch, Nerd to Know Media at gmail.com if you want to reach out via email. Hope to hear from you soon. Check out the Wrestling Rewind here on Phoenix 92.5 FM every Tuesday at 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. And of course over on nerdtoknowmedia.com, the only wrestling podcast by wrestling fans who don't hate wrestling. We'll see you then.
Hey Dara, what are you doing over there in Ireland? Like with the freaking leprechauns and everything. That's not cool. You should be over here with the cosplayers. At least then you could like, I don't know, pretend like you got, I don't know, some kind of thing going on. Yeah, with you give me a Brooklyn Blaze. Yeah, with you. Dara. Yeah, Dara. Why ain't you over here with Joey? Anyway, we miss you, dude. So, it's Bill Karibo saying, I love it. All I do is...
Thank you for listening to a Nerd to Know Media production.